Good morning, welcome to Cyprus, welcome back to Big Mouth. And yes, it's the second superhero show in the space of a few days. Why? Because there's things going on out there that we need to talk about. First of all, Alec Baldwin playing Bruce Wayne's father in the Joker movie. Now, a lot of people have been negative about this. What's the big deal? Oh, Viggo Mortensen turned it down. Mortensen is a diva. He turns everything down. Alec Baldwin is a phenomenal actor. He's been fantastic since his days on Knots Landing. You have to be around my age to actually remember him in that, but fabulous actor. Now, apparently he's going to play an 80s Trump, tanned type, wealthy businessman, a bit arrogant. So it's going to be interesting. But don't forget, this is not an Earth 1 story. This is, DC Dark's got to be at least Earth 2. So it's going to be very, very interesting what they do with that. And I'm very excited. Right. Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke says Logan is a good movie, but not a great movie. And in fact, all superhero films are overhyped up and they're not all that. Ethan, you are gutless, my friend. And shall I tell you why you're gutless? Because you couldn't admit and answer the question you were asked. Should Black Panther be nominated for Best Picture? You wouldn't answer that question because you didn't want to be accused of being racist. So what you did is you spun it over to Logan, an easy target. Logan deserved not only to be nom for Best Picture, but if it won it, no one could have argued. It was not just an epic, awesome superhero movie, but as a film in its own right, that film works, whether you've seen the noir black and white version or the proper version. It's a great film. It's a great finale for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. It works as a superhero film and a film itself. So to say it's not all that is pathetic. But everyone's scared of the MCU. So let's not say the truth. Let's not talk frankly about things. Black Panther, as I said in my other video, is a good film. It's not a great film. It's okay. I didn't like the final act. Not that I didn't like it. As I said in my last video, I just felt that it just seemed like ripping off the Phantom Menace. Both of those films' final acts are so similar. All that was missing from Black Panther was Jar Jar Binks. But I like Black Panther. I don't want to be negative about the film, but it certainly doesn't deserve a Best Picture nomination. And as I keep on saying, diversity doesn't mean there's film quality. Let's quickly talk about Crazy Rich Asians. That film isn't making money just because it's diverse. Listen, that film would have attracted a hell of a lot of the Asian audience, and there's a lot of them. So that's one of the reasons that film's made a lot of money. But it's also a bloody good film. Finally, Hollywood have got diversity right, putting the creative aspect of the film first and the diversity second. But we're not here to talk about that movie. This is a superhero show. So as far as I'm concerned about what Ethan Hawke said, he's a chicken, he's a coward, he's a cop-out. Just say that you believe Black Panther doesn't deserve a Best Picture nom. End of story. Our old friend Scott Mendelsohn, he's like my nemesis. I don't hate the guy, but he's like my internet nemesis. Right, he constructed an article saying why the Joker movie could end up like Solo, a Star Wars story in terms of box office. There is an agenda here, a big agenda. Right, let me get rid of this pop-up. Leave me alone. Fed up with these pop-ups. Anyway, right, yeah. We know Scott Mendelsohn and his cronies have got an agenda. And their agenda is to big up Disney and the MCU and put down anything Warner Brothers does, literally, especially when it comes to their films. There is nothing wrong with doing a Joker movie in another universe. But apparently, it's going to suffer because it has a white man as the lead. The Joker is white. Sorry to disappoint you. But, as this film has a threat of not doing well because of the colour of the lead actor's skin, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't understand the mentality. And, when I sit there and I think about this and I think about this article and I read it thoroughly, this is an article with an agenda to it. Like it or not, Scott Mendelson is a Disney shill. He is. Simple as that. It's undeniable. He is never honest about Disney's mistakes. Never. He's barely spoken about what's happened with the James Gunn situation. He's barely said boo about that. If that was Warner Brothers, he'd be tapping out articles all day. You know it, and I know it. Solo, a Star Wars story. He's made umpteen excuses for that already. He refuses to admit that there was a boycott from fans as a direct reaction from The Last Jedi and how divisive that film was. He's a denier because he's a Disney shill. He's very political and he loves Disney and he loves putting Warner Brothers down and other studios down. And at the end of the day, he's not a man to listen to. I wouldn't listen to his reviews. He called The Last Jedi better than The Empire Strikes Back. Now, anyone who does that, and everyone's entitled to their opinions, of course, but anyone who says that The Last Jedi is better than The Empire Strikes Back really needs to be committed for their own good, for the good of themselves, and the people they surround themselves in. So, basically, very frustrating. Very frustrating to see that the movie media have already got an agenda, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to put negative thoughts in your head about this film. They know nothing about this film apart from what Warner Brothers have actually released about it. They don't know what the box office is going to do. They don't have any numbers, so it's ridiculous to say that this film may not make more money. I think this film's going to make loads of money. I think this film's a dead cert to make a profit. It's going to cost next to nothing to make. And this is another issue they have, the budget. But why does it need a big budget? It's about the Joker. All they have to do is slap some makeup on the guy's face and say action. As long as it's written well, and Joaquin Phoenix is just such a terrific actor. We know he's critically acclaimed. We know he's special. So, personally, the negativity, and I've said this so many times, this, oh my God, what are WB doing? T. Dakers. Some of you people, right, will take such pleasure in putting down the DCEU and DC films. Yes, mistakes have been made. Yes, they should have made films to cater more towards the mainstream. Yes, they should have definitely not rushed and done team-ups. We should never have had Batman v Superman as the second movie and squeeze in a Superman sequel in that as well. We know that. It was too early for Justice League. We know that. Their second film should have been Batman. Their third film should have been Wonder Woman. Too early for Suicide Squad as far as I'm concerned. They should have done Green Lantern and then The Flash. And then maybe, after they've done 6 or 7 films, then carefully plan a Justice League movie. We know that Zack Snyder was, as much as I love his films and as much as I love MOS and BVS, he was the wrong man to lead this thing. We know mistakes have been made. People make mistakes, but I still enjoy the films. Justice League, has its issues because it was so rushed and put together really quickly. It's the work of 2 directors, and it's not like the Russos who are in tandem and working together. You got Snyder, he goes off, and then Whedon comes in. It didn't work, but I will say there are elements in that film I really like. My main issue is really the mess they made of having to bring Henry back with the Tash. They did a terrible job of the CG, and for me, that's embarrassing. But apart from that, and a couple other things, actually, it's an okay, passable movie. But a Justice League movie's got to be epic, got to be awesome, and they got it wrong, and that's fine. They've stood up. They're not like Lucasfilm. They've stood up, and they have admitted it. Guys, we're sorry. They bring Walter Hamada in. The moves they're making are fantastic. We're getting a new Gods movie. We're getting a Wonder Woman sequel. That's exciting. We're going to get a Flash movie. We're getting a Joker movie. There's so many exciting things. Harley Quinn's going to be back. So they are doing things the right way now under Walter Hamada. And I'm excited. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So instead of jumping on movie makers and films before they've even shot one piece of film, why don't you be patient? Wait for a trailer. But even then, be considered in your opinion because you haven't seen the film. Wait for the film. And if you hate it, you hate it. That's fine. But at least give DC and Warner Brothers, kudos for actually standing up and saying, you're right. We made mistakes. We want to make films for the mainstream. We want to make films for the many, not for the few. Not only is that fair and right, it's good business. And what they were doing, they were just catering to a certain audience. And that was never going to work. As I say, I like BVS. I love MOS. I think Suicide Squad is a passable, entertaining movie. Wonder Woman is amazing. Justice League was okay, but obviously rushed, put together too harshly. It didn't work, and we know that. And this is why water has come in. That's why they've kicked out a lot of people. And I think the decisions that they've made are actually really exciting. For us to hear we're getting a Supergirl movie, because I love Supergirl. So basically, all this criticism about the Joker movie, by someone like Mendelsohn, who, as I say, is in the Disney camp. He's very political, very political. He's obsessed with gender politics and, cultural politics as well. So he can't be trusted because if someone puts diversity, gender politics and cultural politics before entertaining movies and good movies, you have a problem. That means you can't trust that person. We want to see people reflected. We want people to be treated fairly. But first and foremost, from my personal perspective, I want to see good films. Man of Steel was a good film. A brilliant film in my mind, but it wasn't for everyone. Batman v Superman, a brilliant film that wasn't for everyone. Suicide Squad, the same. Wonder Woman was for everyone. People enjoyed Wonder Woman. I admit that. And that's great. And Justice League, we know the issues with Justice League. But we can't keep on hammering people when they've admitted their mistakes. They've admitted it. So I'm going to close off this video by saying, Ethan Hawke, keep your mouth shut. Basically, you don't know what you're talking about. It's just jealousy. It's as simple as that. It's jealousy, and be honest in future. Be honest. You don't want Black Panther to be nominated for Best Picture. Be honest and don't worry about the fallout. In terms of what Scott Mendelsohn said about potentially the Joker movie being a flop because it might have the same issues as Solo, two different films. We know why people didn't come to watch Solo. Solo's an okay movie. Wasn't the reason it made under 500 million. The reason it got because people said, right, this film's an easy target to show Lucasfilm. We're not happy. That's the truth of the matter. So that's where I'm wrapping things up. If you've got anything to say about what I spoke about, press like or unlike. It's all a reaction, isn't it? So it's all good. Comment down below. Like, as I say, subscribe. Tell people about this channel. I've got 37 subscribers. I'm very, very grateful for those subscribers. But I want to do more. I want to make this a big YouTube channel. Now, we know it's literally, without me advertising this channel and putting money into it, but I want this to kind of grow naturally. If it is going to grow. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I want this to grow through word of mouth. I want people to subscribe to me because they like me and they like what I've got to say. Not always agreeing with me, but we can have a good debate. So, as I say, you can find me on Twitter, Movies TV Mad. You can find me on Instagram, where I do videos where I talk like this, under McMenas Show. And you can find me on Facebook, McMenas. Follow me on there. Don't request to be my friend because I don't know you. Thank you very much. We're wrapping up. I will be back. By the way, I was going to go, but I will say this. I've rewatched Avengers Infinity War. Fantastic film. Fantastic. And whatever I say about the DCEU versus the MCU, we have to be honest. What they've done and what Feige has done is amazing. And, looking at it, it's so clever, it's so dark. And it is such a dark film because they threw out a lot of the gags. There were a few gags in there. I don't particularly think a lot of the gags worked in the film. It was a very serious, dark film. But this was really, this was really a dark film. about a villain. About a villain. This, for the first time in the movie, we saw a villain's perspective rather than the hero's perspective, and the villain wins. But killing Gamora really affects him, and I think I'm going to have to do a full review of this at some point. But I just think that the way it was about the villain, the way it was about Thanos and about his perspective, because this guy actually believes in what he's doing. And that's amazing. I think I'm going to have to do a review. Anyway, thank you for watching the Superhero Show. We will speak soon. Bye.